trying to enhance youth, trying to tell them that there's need for youth to come together and unite so that we can move our country forward. So today, I'm glad to have my minister within the show, and I would like to self-introduce so that the Kenyan people can know who Mr. Githonga is and what he has for us. Thank you very much. I hope to be given to it. And Jamon, waja chipe introduce mwenyewe.
Thank you very much, Morata. As just stated earlier, my name is Benson. I'm being a youth, and also I'm a youth activist, and I'm also a leader of the youth there, and also I'm a organizer of youth. Also in this future that we have stated earlier, I advocate for the youth and the welfare of the youth. Because the youth are the future. These are the people determining the tomorrow of our country. And I'm happy that seeing youth coming up with such initiatives like this one of my brother. It is an initiative that I can say, let me congratulate you first, because this is an initiative, it is a step that you have taken. And it is a step that, when you are starting something, you started from down there and start now moving up and up and up. So this is a platform that you have created as a youth for us to come and enhance and bring out the message that we have to our youth. Because our youth are the people who have formed the foundation of this country. So having a platform like this one, in few days or in few time, you will find that you have grown. And my prayer is to find you in a bigger media outside there. Yeah, I want to find you somewhere, and this is a very good initiative. Thank you.
Sema Mr. Githonga ako na akili nzuri. Na tunajua vile vijana wa Kenya wako sasa hivi, vijana wapendi sana kusikia mambo ya kusema kuwa politics is a dirty game. So my brother, how do you take that one to your side? Because I see that you are remaining more focused on your agenda to put Kenya youths under one unit.
Okay, now, as we stated earlier, when we don't include ourselves in this politics, we might find ourselves, we have been excluded from this in some of the things. But what we have to focus as youth is that let us have a conversation that we are inclusive as youth in this politics. Let us find ourselves in this politics. Let us find a chance in this politics, because our youth, when we deviate from this, we lose as youth.
And my brother, it is true that in our country, Kenya, we as youths we are facing a lot of challenges. Na kusema ukweli kwamba a lot of youths currently are unemployed. A lot of youths are suffering. Most people in our country, Kenya, are dying because of hunger, because of poverty. Some of the youths cannot go to school due to corruption being the main agenda. Na ni vizuri sana niliona one of your principles yuko ulikuwa unataka kupigania ufisadi. Na my brother, ukiangalia country Kenya imefika mahali tunasema kwamba ufisadi ndio una divide our daily, ufisadi ndio una divide whatever we do in our country. So my brother, how are you certain kwa sababu imefika mahali tunakuja tunasema kwamba mtu yeyote kuishi kwa Kenya sasa hivi inabidi amefanya ufisadi ndio aishi. How are you optimistic that one day Kenya will be a corruption-free country?
What is happening now in this country, our beloved country, because it's our beloved country? What is happening is that our sectors, the country, for you to survive in this country and for you to become rich, the conversation has, for you to become rich, you must have somewhere you are entitled to a government. You must be attached to the government. Mostly the tenders we have in this government, it is all about graft, it is all about corruption, it is all about, the problem we have in this country is that we want to get rich very fast. Our youth want to get rich very fast. And the only way to get rich very fast, it has been come up a culture that is very wrong to our country, because the culture is all about theft, it's all about corruption. And this corruption is affecting us so much.
And my brother, it is true that corruption has brought a lot of things in our country. And one of the things that we see corruption has led to is that we have lost the trust in our government.
Yes.
And due to corruption, I can see that young, energetic youths, educated, even au wenyewe tunasema kuwa ni madaktari. Unapata tuko na maengineer hapa katika nchi yetu ya Kenya, mtu ameenda campus amesoma, campus amesoma, but unapata at the end of the day akimaliza shule, he has again to struggle to seek for a job. Most of the youth unapata wanatoroka our country with all the energy, with all the talent to go and work outside our country, Kenya. So how can we be certain that with your plan, with your methods you have in your mind, that those youths wetu itafika mahali kwamba watatumia their energy wabaki hapa Kenya kufanya kazi zao? So how are you going to confuse the youths through your unity plan? How are you going to confuse the youths that it is time to stand up and fight for corruption, for them to remain in their country and to be such a patriotic the way you are?
Okay, now what is happening is that we have to change the mind concept of our youth. And to change this mind or concept of our youth, we have to start it from our institution of learning. Because if we don't put this corruption thing into our curriculum, because that is the only way we can do it. Because if we start teaching our people about the impacts of corruption from young stages, that is when we can try to eradicate this thing. We can even try to eradicate this, because we have a problem. And this problem we cannot only change it within a day, because it is a culture that has already entered into our minds. It is a culture, because we are following our people. The forefathers we had, they have been following the same culture. And this culture has trended even to our youth. And this thing to change it, despite, because we have learned fellows, we have people who have gone to higher institutions of learning, but they still move to the same position. In fact, we are not getting the difference between our learned fellows and those people in the
learned in the village. You know, my brother, to dig on that one, ni wakati unapata kwamba there's someone mwenye ametoka from the lower ground akafika primary school, akafika akamaliza secondary, and somebody is a graduate who is in the campus, unapata kuwa still this person he lacks the knowledge. Still tukipata in every election, tuseme kama saizi tuko karibu nearing the 2022 election, unapata still there is a graduate mwenye anakaa more presidentically, mwenye anakaa corrupted na 500 ili aende kupotia somebody. So does that make sense? Does that say that the future ya Wakenya wenzetu ama ya yetu sisi, do we have hope that one day our country will be a good country yenye hatutakongwa kupigia mtu kura, maybe kumpea kula, lakini tusikize mtu manifesto zake? Do you believe that that day is coming?
I can say that day is coming, because in the current political atmosphere, I've seen that we have now deviated from the ethnic politics, and the conversation is changing.
How?
Let me say the conversation is changing, because before it was all about ethnicity, the ethnic groups, the small groups. That I'm from this community, I cannot vote this person because he is not from my community. But of late, I've seen people, we have seen leaders, political leaders, all of them now have gone to the economic
approach, the bottom up.
You can say the bottom. We have the rural economic approach from different politicians.
Like now,
if we don't go back to the economic approach of our leaders, if we don't deviate ourselves from the ethnic to the economic part of it, because our youths, we have almost 4 million youths who graduate in this country.
That's fair.
Most of them are graduates. Because even currently, if you look at our graduates, most of them even don't know where they are heading. Because I'm learning, but I don't know, will I access a job?
Very true. And in fact, what saddens me the most is that you are learned, you have every qualification that can secure you a job, but you have to corrupt, you have to pay 1,000, then 10,000, you have to pay 100,000 so that you can get a job. You know, it doesn't make sense, my brother, when we have reached that extent.
The problem is that it has reached even in our institutions that we think are the most respected institutions.
Yeah.
have also deviated to corruption.
Like what?
Our army, people who are disciplined,
Yeah.
our
The
police
police,
force,
yeah.
people who are disciplined. But you have, for you to access, for you to get, for you to get recruited, you have to put something on the table. You know, this is what is killing our youth.
And my
This is
brother,
what is killing the future of our country. Because if we continue having more people who are jobless in this country, the thing that will now start arising is terrorism. People will find that now my youth, you know, for example, we have the Al-Shabaab.
and brother,
Yes.
to cut you short a bit,
Yeah.
there is a sense in which our youths current,
Yeah.
the youths we have, hata mali natoka huko ushagoni kushuko na vijana wadogo wadogo hapa wenye saizi unapata kijana akiwa bado umri mdogo bado amejingisha kwa zile practices si mzuri. Mtu mwenye anafanya vitu vitendo sio mzuri kwa sababu ameruhusu that hope, ameruhusu because the environment yako yes to support.
Yeah.
My brother, I was suggesting that in our country Kenya, in our country Kenya, what can you tell those youths wenye wameruhusu wenye wanasema politics is a bad game? Tunaweza waambia nini hao vijana ili wagutuke wajue kwamba politics is something that determines our future, is something that determines our education, that tukiendelea kuacha hiyo politics is a dirty game, itatukosti sisi kama vijana. Itatukosti sisi kama vijana kwa sababu we are not involved in decision making, and because in Kenya tunasema kwa the youths must be wind up to that. So what can you tell those guys when you're reluctant about taking action on what is happening in our country?
The problem with our youth in this country is that we are not united. We don't speak as one. Because if you look at the margin and look at the population of our youth in this country, our youth are the majority. And these people currently are the people who are going to determine the politics of this country.
Yeah.
So if we are the people who are going to determine the politics of this country, why don't we mobilize all our youth and come together and have a conversation? Let us have our own blueprint. When these politicians come to us, let us as youth, let us come up, let us team up and say, no, we are going to change this conversation.
Yeah.
Tell us, what do you want to do for me as a youth?
What are your manifestos?
What are your the problem with our youth is that, we have to eradicate one thing.
Yeah.
Let us not deviate from politics as youth. Let us not run away from politics. Let us get inclusive. Let us bring our own conversation
and participate
in this politics. Because the problem with our youth is that yes, we have youth who are not learned outside there.
Yeah.
We have some, but it is not by their will.
Yeah.
Most of them is not by their will because maybe it is school fees or any other.
School fees.
But let those who have gone even to the higher institution come and educate our youth on their purpose in the community, in serving in the politics sector.
Yeah.
Because it is only through that way. It is only through that way that we can solve the challenges that we have. Because our youth don't want to engage. Because what is happening is that me as a politician, I will come with my 500 shillings.
Yeah.
And why do these people accept this money? It's because most of them are jobless.
Yeah, fell true.
Come up, let us as youth, let us arise and tell these politicians, when you are coming to us, show us, this is the strategy that I have.
Yeah. And
this is the strategy that I have.
This is my agenda in education. This is my agenda in agriculture.
Exactly. Let me see as a youth.
Yeah.
Am I involved in this manifesto? Am I in? Is it catering about myself? Because that is the problem we have. Because sometimes even the politicians themselves come with the manifestos that are not even making sense.
Yeah, by the way, that is true. And in fact, not even making sense.
Yes.
There's a clue in which that those politicians, they have what we call dishonest manifestos.
Dishonest.
That they are not open and transparent to us. Like in every year, when we want to vote in the leaders from the grassroots, that is that through from the local, the MPs, the MCAs, you find someone can come to you and approach you as citizens. He tell you, I have manifestos, miaka 5 ikifika, mimi nitakuwa nimeweka rami kila mahali hapa.
Exactly.
But unapata, by the next year ikifika bado, hiyo rami hakuna. So it is my submission that time has come for us, my brother, to kuje pamoja. Na huko kukuja pamoja from your point of view. Kama saizi our point ilikuwa kwamba unapata mtu kwamba imebidi afanye corruption kwa sababu that is what it takes for him to work. So what can you tell Kenyans what can you tell the young youths wenye wamekuangalia huku wenye anafuata Mr. Githonga wenye wanaamini kwamba Mr. Githonga siku moja ataleta mabadiliko katika nchi yetu? Utawaambia nini despite being occupied with that system yenye inawabidi wafanye corruption watoke from that dilemma wakuje to live life and waanze kufight corruption, because I'm 100% sure and you can be with me that if youths decide if the young people wakiamua kwamba it is time for us to make change, it is time for us to fight corruption, uende ikaisha, but we are lacking that person mwenye anasimama aseme kwamba enough is enough, let us fight corruption. So my brother, what can you tell those people wenye bado wanaamini kuwa without corruption they cannot survive?
Okay, the first thing I would like to tell our youth is that let us not have fear, because sometimes fear is killing us. If all of us stood as one and talked as one and said we are not going to go the corruption way, because this corruption has come to an extent that is going even to the institutions, but the leaders we are creating are fearful leaders. Most of them even cannot stand boldly on a platform and condemn something, because that is the problem we have. If our youths, because we have even the youth leaders, we have all these leaders, even in the political sector, we have youths who have even ventured into politics. Let us have our youths coming up, those, especially those in the powers, let them come up and advocate for the rest of the youths. Let us have that awareness. Let us create awareness to our youth. Bring them together. If we bring all these youths together and have a good conversation, we will be heading even to the right direction. Let us remove fear amongst ourselves and stand boldly. Because it is all a matter.
It's the youths by day.
It is a matter of decision.
And the future of the youth is up to youths.
Yeah, it is up to the youth.
It is up to them. And
we are the people holding the future of the country.
That is very true, my brother.
Because if we don't have youths in a country, we usually say that country haina mwelekeo.
Na my brother, nilikufuatia sana huko mtandao. Nikaona kuwa you are a politician, you are a much more politician, upcoming politician na nisikia soon uende ukafae kiti huku kwenu huku ukasaidia wananchi. Unajua most of the time tunapata vijana wazuri kama wewe wao wanatuongelesha hapa, wanasema wakiingia huko ndani watabadilisha mtindo, lakini wakiingia huku wanakaa sima sorted wao wanachukuliwa, wanakaa deviated na wanakaa deviated, wanaingishwa ndani na maana that sisi wenyewe hatutaki, na wanapekuliwa sasa, wanageuzwa fikira sawa. So my brother,
1 minute.
My brother, what assurance do you have that ukifika huko pia utakuja kutugeusia mambo, usikuje kutugeuka kwamba sasa imefika pia wewe ukipata kwa mahali kuna simba lazima ukae simba? You must give us simba mwenyewe.
You know what we have with the problem with our youth leaders, or us the politicians who are youth, when we go outside there, the problem is fear and a matter of decision
making.
Because it is a matter of decision. For me, you know, when I have fear, because when you look at some politicians, I love some politicians because I follow some politicians, and you find you stand boldly for what you know is correct.
You are conscious, you follow your conscience.
Follow your conscience.
And my brother,
because this country, the people who have the power, it is us.
And my brother, to be clear on that one, kama saizi tuko sure kuna 2022 elections karibu. Nimeangalia siasa. Kuna kwamba wewe ni mwanasiasa, vile nimesema kitambo, unafuata siasa. Kwa hii maneno ya 2022, what will you tell youths waangalie kwa hao wanasiasa wenye tunaenda kuchagua waende kutu represent in our system? Because we have seen that most of the time on the things that we do, unapata we elect the people tukiamini wanaenda ku serve the people. Their mandate is to serve the people. But you find most of the time those people whom we elect with the idea of representing us, instead they take advantage and oppress us. So what can we tell the youths? What the core values wenye vijana wanafaa kuangalia kwamba ili tuchague kiongozi aende kutu represent huku, we need to be clean.